On a hilltop in southern Turkey stands a temple that is 7,000 years older than the Great Pyramid. It was built by people who had no cities, no farms, no pottery, no metal tools, and no wheel. People who, according to everything we thought we knew, could not possibly have built it. And then, for reasons nobody understands, they buried the entire thing on purpose. In 1963, surveyors walked this hill, noted some broken limestone slabs, and dismissed it as a medieval cemetery. For 30 years, nobody looked twice. Then, in 1994, a German archaeologist named Klaus Schmidt reread that old report, climbed the mound, and understood within minutes that he was standing on something that would rewrite human history. Under the soil lay rings of massive T-shaped limestone pillars, the tallest over 5 meters high and weighing up to 10 tons. Their surfaces crawl with carved foxes, scorpions, snakes, and vultures. Some pillars have arms, hands, and belts. They are stylized people, giants of stone, standing in circles, staring inward at something we can no longer see. Then came the radiocarbon dates, and archaeology quietly had a crisis. The oldest enclosures were built around 9500 BC, that is 6,000 years before Stonehenge, 7,000 years before the pyramids. When these pillars were raised, the last ice age had barely ended, and the entire human species still lived by hunting and gathering. And that is the problem. Hunter-gatherers were not supposed to do this. Quarrying, carving, and raising 10-ton pillars takes hundreds of coordinated workers, and every one of them has to be fed. There were no farms, no granaries, no kings to give orders. Yet somehow, scattered bands of foragers organized one of the most ambitious construction projects of their age. So Schmidt proposed something radical. We had the story of civilization backwards. We assumed people settled down, invented farming, and only then built temples. Göbekli Tepe suggests the temple came first, that the need to gather and worship pulled scattered bands together. And some of the world's earliest domesticated wheat grew on a mountain within sight of the hill. The carvings guard their secrets. One pillar, the so-called vulture stone, shows a bird cradling a sphere above a headless human body. Some researchers read it as a death ritual, others as a memory of a catastrophe in the sky. Nearby stood the Urfa man, the oldest life-size statue of a human being ever found, staring from 11,000 years ago with obsidian eyes. Then comes the strangest fact of all. Around 8,000 BC, after more than 1,000 years of use, the builders' descendants filled the enclosures with rubble and earth, deliberately, carefully, completely. They didn't abandon the temple, they buried it. Nobody knows why, but that burial sealed and preserved it so perfectly that it waited, intact, for 10,000 years. And Göbekli Tepe is not alone. Barely 5% of the site has been excavated, and the surrounding hills hide at least a dozen sister sites. Karahan Tepe, with its chamber of carved stone heads, may be even older. Turkish archaeologists now call the region the Stone Hills. An entire unknown chapter of human history is still underground. Every schoolbook said civilization began with farming 6,000 years ago in Mesopotamia. A single hill in Turkey pushed that story back into the Ice Age and turned it upside down, which raises the only question that matters. If we were that wrong about our own beginning, what else are we wrong about? Subscribe for more forgotten history. And tell me below, why do you think they buried it?